I started back in 1973 after spending 6 years as a metallurgist at Pratt& Whitney Aircraft. And somebody's going to start doing math and figure out how old I am after that. But the key thing that is I wanted to be able to do something on my own. I was a product of the 60s, and I wanted to be able to start something at that point in my life. And I learned that parents like to have their kids nearby, and my dad convinced me to move back to Grand Rapids. And we kind of agreed that I wouldn't work for him and he wouldn't work for me. But the concept was he lent me a little money, and and introduced me to the bank, and we started in the manufacturing business with a couple of machines. And back then, I didn't understand all this stuff where we're raising money for folks and all these kinds of operations where you get other investors. But I was just going to start kind of a greenfield operation. I had no real background in plastics, but I understood materials. So we started with a couple of machines. We did subcontract work. My first real customer was Herman Miller. And we ended up over the years making every successful chair, designing every successful chair Herman Miller has had. It's been a great relationship with us. And then, some of the key points were when I hired my first sales manager, a sales leader. That made all the difference in the world. We started going into the automotive business at that point in time. I created a couple of joint ventures with Japanese firms back in the mid 80s. In 1989, we worked a relationship with Waste Management, and we've been doing their work in making these carts ever since. We have maybe the one of the most interesting things was when we, in the mid 90s, started doing work with our Welfare to Career program, which you just saw a little bit of a flash of that. And that was really our first institutionalizing our programmatic side of things, so that we were being able to take ideas and concepts and turn them into real programs within the organization. And that really started my interest in how do we get even deeper in this. In the early 90s also, I was exposed to another business leader around his concerns about racism that his family was experiencing as a result of adopting a child of color. And that was another big point for me that said this whole thing about business really has an impact in how we are going about the process of making a difference in our communities. But then, in the 2000s, we continued with growth, and we expanded into 3 other states. And we also, in the early 90s, I forgot to mention that we established an operation in Budapest, Hungary. And that was a real adventure to watch that country unfold as it was going forward.